Chapter 896, Freely Leaving After Killing. In the sky, a battle of pursuit was unfolding. Bam, bam, bam. Intense explosions occurred one after another. Song Yishur and Yao Gupai attacked nonstop. But because of the distance, and because Fang Yuan was slippery like an eel, he could not be caught. He was displaying an incredible flying attainment. Even though he was ahead, Fang Yuan, who was pretending to be escaping, was actually slowing his speed, allowing the two pursuers to follow him. He was a demonic path overlord in his previous life. Even though he did not have particularly great achievements, he had rich life experience. He had undergone many battles. It was something that these two young Gu immortals behind him could not imagine. Especially Song Yishur. She was too young and had little battle experience. Even though she was using an immortal killer move to chase him, she could not catch up no matter what. Fang Yuan changed directions often. Sometimes he went into the water, sometimes he went into the clouds. He was extremely crafty. Song Yishur was extremely angry. She felt like she was not chasing him down, but being played with instead. As for Yao Gupai, he was a lone cultivator. Even though he had more experience, he did not have a single immortal Gu, not to mention any immortal killer moves. That he, who could only use mortal killer moves, was doomed in this battle of pursuit from the start. He was lagging behind. He could only shout loudly. If Fang Yuan was not purposely slowing down for him, he would have been left in the dust already. The three traveled quickly through the air. They soon left the poetic emotion sea area. What is going on? There are Gu immortals fighting. The noise from their travels earned the attentions of two lone cultivator Gu immortals from a nearby island. These two were playing chess. They were quite relaxed. Hearing the commotion, they raised their heads as they used investigative methods. It seems to be Song Clan's Fairy Yishur and a young male lone cultivator. They are pursuing someone. This person's aura is not that of Eastern Sea. They are a Northern Plains Gu immortal. Less trouble is better than more trouble. Song Yishur is the prized gem of Song Chi Yuan. Let's not interfere in this. You are right. Come, let's continue playing chess. Fang Yuan looked at this island. He frowned slightly as he turned to another direction, continuing to fly. Not long later, at Web IC area. What? There is such a lecherous and shameless old bastard in this world. Fairy Yishur, I, Chen Zhongyong, will lend you a hand. Fang Yuan smiled lightly. He dodged Chen Zhongyong's attack as he continued escaping. Thus, there were three people chasing after him now. After a certain amount of time, at Rumbling Thunder Sea Channel, Fairy Yishur is pure as jade. She was actually tainted. He deserves death. He deserves death. Bai Qing Tian was anguished. He joined in the chase resolutely. 15 minutes later, the commotion caused by them attracted a battle maniac Gu immortal. You are a Northern Plains Gu immortal. You dare to lay your lecherous hands on our Eastern Sea goddess? Do you think that we of Eastern Sea can be bullied? Lei Hong was furious. He spoke without restraint. Song Yishur was getting more and more furious, seeing that Fang Yuan was still escaping. Her mood was getting worse. He had only taken a glance at her. Why were these people spouting more and more ridiculous nonsense? Like she had lost her virginity to him? Stop shouting. Kill him in secret. I will reward you greatly. Song Yishur could not hold it in anymore. She transmitted to them. These Gu immortals were not idiots. After hearing this, they went silent. Why are they not shouting anymore? Fang Yuan did not want that to happen. He wanted this matter to blow up. The bigger the commotion, the better. Since you are shutting up, I will have to do it myself. Thus, Fang Yuan shouted, defending himself. Everyone, this is a misunderstanding. I will clarify this matter. I had accidentally entered the depths of poetic emotion sea area's underwater volcano. Everyone can investigate this matter. I am speaking the truth. Old lecher, you are bullshitting. Immediately, a Gu immortal screamed back, but Fang Yuan ignored him. He yelled, I am a Northern Plains Gu immortal. I have just arrived here and wanted to choose an unknown island to reside in. I picked a small island after looking for a long time. Before setting up some arrangements, I wanted to look around the area. I discovered a hidden undercurrent and moved along it, getting into the underwater volcano. Lies, you're continuing to lie to us. You did something so shameless, but you are actually defending yourself, trying to pretend to be a gentleman. Do you think we are so easy to fool? The Gu immortals screamed. Fang Yuan called out. Even if I am lying, I would need to make a better excuse. Why would I mention the undercurrent? You can go verify this. I will tell you the location of the island. Before I entered the undercurrent, I did not know it would connect to the underwater volcano. Either, after I entered the volcano, I found out, shut up. Song Yishe shouted. She was worried that Fang Yuan might expose some secretive information. She interrupted him. If you are innocent, stop running, obediently submit, and let us investigate. If you are speaking the truth, I, Song Yishe, will not kill an innocent person. Song Yishe had learned something quickly and grew a little. She actually understood that she needed to coax him. But her tone was too stiff. Anyone could tell that she was full of anger and killing intent. Song Yishe was still too pitiful in her acting skills. Fang Yuan continued to escape. He shouted continuously, "Do you think I am a fool? If I surrender, I will die. I am innocent. I did not even touch a single hair of yours after I reached the volcano." "Shut the hell up." Song Yishe flew into a rage. Her voice was even louder now. The other male Gu immortals had furious expressions on the surface, but they were secretly concentrating and were afraid of missing a single word from Fang Yuan's mouth. Seeing that Fang Yuan was interrupted by Song Yishe again, they felt mild regret internally, but Fang Yuan quickly continued. "The more you do not want me to say it, the more I will say. How can you be so overbearing? I am just a Northern Plains Gu immortal trying to make a living in Eastern Sea. Is it easy for me? I did not do anything. I only saw a glimpse of you bathing. It was all a misunderstanding." Song Yishe saw darkness in front of her. She was so angered her heart was going to burst into flames. She could make the people on her side shut up, but she could not stop Fang Yuan from shouting. Something so interested has happened. At this time, a lovely laugh could be heard. A female Gu immortal was approaching. "It is Seven Seas Snake Woman." The Gu immortals that were chasing after Fang Yuan saw this female Gu immortal and became alert. Yao Gupai was bemoaning internally. Everyone else directed their gazes towards Song Yishe. Song Yishe's expression was dark. She looked like an ice statue that was emitting immense cold as it turned out. Seven Seas Snake Woman and Song Yishe were both publicly known as among the 6 great beauties among Eastern Sea Gu immortals. Seven Seas Snake Woman had rank 7 cultivation level. She was a demonic path Gu immortal who had some conflicts with Song Yishe, but because of Song Qi Yuan's power, she did not dare to attack Song Eshi. This moment. She heard such interesting news. She was sure to add in more false details and spread this rumor around. Song Yishe felt like the sky was collapsing. What was she going to do now? Seven Seas Snake Woman was definitely going to ruin her reputation. Song Yishe felt even more hatred towards Fang Yuan now. "You old lecher, how are you so good at running? Even running into Seven Seas Snake Woman. What a joke." This route was specially chosen by Fang Yuan after careful investigation. The Gu immortals that they would meet along the way were all found out by Fang Yuan prior to this. Seven Seas Snake Woman was very important in Fang Yuan's current plan. Even though Seven Seas Snake Woman was a demonic path Gu immortal, she owned 7 sea areas right now. This sea area was at a crucial moment when a large number of red tide fish were reproducing. She had to stay here to guard it. Fang Yuan easily obtained this information. Seven Seas Snake Woman was a beautiful but dangerous woman. She was very ruthless in her actions. The righteous path would often leak details of such people, so that others could be prepared if they were to meet them. Boom! With a loud sound, Seven Seas Snake Woman suddenly struck, attacking the pursuers of Fang Yuan. "Seven Seas Snake Woman, what are you doing?" Lei Hong shouted. Song Yishe and the others were severely interrupted. This is such an interesting matter. I definitely have to interfere." Seven Seas Snake Woman had an alluring body. She had a coquettish gaze as she answered. Lei Hong said solemnly, "I will block Seven Seas Snake Woman. The rest of you continue chasing him." He had rank 7 cultivation level. He was not afraid of Seven Seas Snake Woman. Even though his battle strength was lower, he could still stall her for a short time and escape from her. Seven Seas Snake Woman did not know who Fang Yuan was. She would not exert too much effort. Seeing that Lei Hong was stepping up, she showed a look of disgust as she stopped on the spot. "You again, meddlesome fool. You really like to interfere in people's affairs." Thus, the other Gu immortals detoured around Seven Seas Snake Woman, chasing after Fang Yuan again. Time continued to pass. After a very long time, There were a few more people chasing Fang Yuan. Even though he was quite injured, he did not fall into their hands. He was still escaping. Damn it! Song Yishe gritted her teeth. She felt fatigue looking at Fang Yuan's energetic body. Everything had happened too quickly and too suddenly. How did it become like this? Song Yishe felt a sense of absurdity within her that a moment ago. She was still enjoying a carefree life, bathing inside her hot spring as she relaxed herself. But now, she was chasing an enemy endlessly with no way of catching up, and now, almost all the immortals nearby knew about it. Song Yishe felt tired physically, but even more so mentally. It is about time. Fang Yuan looked at the pursuers. He smiled faintly. The execution of this plan was much more effective than he had originally planned. Now, it is time to leave. Thinking of this, a ruthless light flashed in Fang Yuan's eyes. His body shook as he turned into 6 figures, flying towards 6 different directions. Immortal killer move, 6 illusion star bodies. The pursuers shouted out in dismay. They were stunned before splitting up to chase him. Immortal killer move, position star swap. Fang Yuan changed his position, appearing in front of Yao Gupai. Don't think I am afraid of killing. Fang Yuan called out. Using Star Cloud Grindstone, he had been escaping all this time. Why would Yao Gupai think that Fang Yuan would act differently and counterattack? Caught off guard, he was sucked into the Star Cloud Grindstone. He only had mortal killer moves. How could he defend against the power of Immortal Goo? When everyone else came to reinforce him and destroyed the Star Cloud Grindstone, Fang Yuan was already holding onto Yao Gupai's head. Humph, don't go overboard. Fang Yuan's ruthlessness was shown. He faced the band of immortals. The pursuers were only rank 6. It was not easy to encounter rank 7s like Lei Hong. Yao Gupai, when all is said and done, is a Gu immortal. He was actually killed in such a short amount of time. Northern Plains barbarians are really exemplary in battle strength. The immortals were all stunned. They felt a strong sense of wariness internally. Meanwhile, one of the 6 illusion star bodies had already flown far away. Fang Yuan used position star swap and changed his true body's position, abruptly and freely leaving. Chapter 897. Difficult to own Gu Pai Blessed Land. 3 days later, in the world of Eastern Sea Gu immortals, there was a rumor that spread widely. This involved one of the 6 great beauties of Eastern Sea, Fairy Yishe. When she was bathing, she was defiled by an old lecher who shamelessly planned everything. Song Yishe was Song Qi Yuan's precious gem. She had quite a reputation and many suitors. This matter involved Song clan's reputation as well. Once information got out, many Gu immortals' attentions were attracted. Soon, Xing Xiangzi's Northern Plains Gu immortal identity was found out by other Gu immortals. Before Song clan even expressed their attitude, Song Yishe suitors were already hunting down Fang Yuan on a large scale with furious emotions at a nameless and ownerless sea area with little resources. The sea was deep and dark. There were few fish at a wooden door that looked like a blessed land's entrance appeared and opened with a creak that a figure walked out from within. It was Fang Yuan. Having Xing Xiangzi's appearance, Fang Yuan killed Yao Gupai on the spot. After that, he carried Yao Gupai's corpse away and escaped. There were 2 uses for bodies of Gu immortals. One was to place them down and form a blessed land. The other was to put them into one's own immortal aperture and obtain their Dao marks. Fang Yuan did not have to think it over. He chose the former. His immortal aperture was dead. If corpses were put inside his dead aperture, not only would he not get any Dao marks, it would cause massive destruction to the land. His body would burst and explode. Such a situation had been experimented with by immortal zombies, but there had never been any cases of success. Fang Yuan used his wisdom path methods to contain the immortal aperture and stall for some time. After escaping from the pursuers, he used a stargate to return to Tai by Yun Sheng's immortal aperture, before using fixed immortal travel to teleport himself towards the northeastern extremity of Eastern Sea. Finally, he dived into the sea, without anyone's notice. He placed Yao Gupai's immortal aperture down at the bottom of the sea. After the immortal aperture formed into a blessed land, it naturally created disturbances in Heaven Chi and Earth Chi. 2 whale desolate beasts were drawn over, but Fang Yuan chased them away. Fang Yuan first turned into another appearance. before entering Yao Gupai's blessed land and meeting with the land spirit. Yao Gupai was a wood path Gu immortal. He owned Gupai blessed land. His land spirit was quite peculiar. It was in the form of a tree, planted at the center of the blessed land with no movement ability. The tree land spirit told Fang Yuan. The ownership condition, 100,000 immortal essence stones, large amounts of immortal materials, including many rank 7 and rank 8 materials. It even wanted the fresh blood of Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable. The condition was too immensely difficult. Fang Yuan, of course, could not satisfy it. He could only leave regrettably. Yao Gupai is a lone cultivator. He had the weakest background among the pursuers and had no backers. That was why I killed him, to act as deterrence against the others. Indeed, I deterred Song Yishi's group and escaped easily. Yao Gupai's immortal aperture formed into a separate blessed land. But the land spirit's ownership condition has nothing to do with me, the killer. Instead, it is requesting for lots of cultivation resources. It shows that Yao Gupai's greatest obsession is towards wealth. But his desire is simply too insatiable. Fang Yuan had just left. The blessed land's doors closed. He looked back and saw that the door was completely shut. He frowned slightly. If Yao Gupai's obsession had to do with me, with my blood path methods, I could easily handle it. But its ownership condition is simply harder than ascending to heaven. Not mentioning the 100,000 immortal essence stones. Simply the precious immortal materials were hard to gather. Unless Fang Yuan robbed the 10 great ancient sects, or stole that huge amount from Heavenly Court's treasury, simply based on his current state, it would take a lot of good luck for him to gather them all. 200 to 300 years would be the minimum amount of time he needed. But most importantly, it was the final condition that the tree land spirit had. Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's fresh blood. Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable was a wood path, rank 9 Gu Venerable. Yao Gupai also. Cultivated wood path. It was not strange that he desired Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's blood. But who was Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable? Even if his fresh blood was preserved by Heavenly Lotus sect, that was a true rank 9 immortal material. This was a precious material that could refine rank 9 immortal Gu. It was definitely heavily guarded. How could Fang Yuan obtain it? This Yao Gupai must have gone crazy from poverty. His obsession towards wealth is so intense. In this way, to obtain this blessed land, it seems normal methods will not work. I can only attack forcefully. Fang Yuan's eyes shined with cold light. If this land spirit refused to accept a master, he would destroy it and forcefully take over the blessed land. Not all blessed lands had land spirits. Some Gu immortals were killed extremely thoroughly and did not leave behind any obsession after they died. Their blessed land would be without a land spirit. Yao Gupai's blessed land had a land spirit, but the conditions were too absurd. Fang Yuan could only find an alternative and attack forcefully. It was like Shark Demon's group invading Yulu blessed land. If I can obtain this blessed land, I would have a base in Eastern Sea. But now is not the time to settle this blessed land. I should go and regroup with Shark Demon first. Fang Yuan scattered some mortal Gu, setting up a Gu formation around him. Next, he activated fixed immortal travel, leaving this place and going to Tai by Yun Sheng's immortal aperture. Originally, fixed immortal travel's aura was in the sea, but after Fang Yuan's Gu formation activated, it dissipated. After the work was done, this set of mortal Gu disintegrated on its own. Unless a very powerful investigation method was used, no one would be able to find out that there was a blessed land in such an ordinary area. Fang Yuan came out of Tai by Yun Sheng's immortal aperture. The latter had already started moving. He was flying above the vast sea. The senior and junior brothers conversed along the way. After a few minutes, they arrived at the sky above Yulu Blessed Land. Here, there was nobody. The two waited for a while. Soon, Shark Demon led a band of Gu immortals from Zombie Alliance and flew over. Brother Xingxiang, you are quite famous nowadays. Once he saw Fang Yuan, Shark Demon made a joke. The other Gu immortals looked at Fang Yuan with curious glances. These few days, Fang Yuan had become very famous in the world of Eastern Sea Gu immortals. He had gained quite a reputation. Fang Yuan smiled bitterly. He replied, "Very unlucky. I was very unlucky. Please don't laugh at me. I wanted to find an island to rest in, but I found an undercurrent and wanted to explore it. To think I would encounter such a troublesome affair. This is not a troublesome affair. It is quite appropriate to call this a romantic affair. Bo Dan laughed loudly, sarcastically saying, earlier, Fang Yuan had humiliated him. But after that, Bo Dan paid a huge price and gave Su Bai Man an expensive gift. Thus he joined the invasion of the blessed land again, and he had a fearless attitude. Fang Yuan gave him a glance, smiling. He did not bother responding to such a person that he glanced around and saw that other than Shark Demon, Su Bai Man, and Bo Dan, there was only one familiar immortal zombie, Shanan Jiang. There were 3 less people than before, but Shark Demon was very confident. It seemed that he had made ample preparations before coming. Everyone went deep into the sea, opening the entrance of Yulu blessed land. Entering the battlefield, killer moved freezing rain frozen earth again. This time, Xingxiang Zi, we will mainly be relying on your deductions. Bo Dan will support you. Shark Demon announced politely. Last time, Fang Yuan performed well. Shark Demon and the others thought that Xingxiang Zi had a deeper wisdom path attainment level. Lord Shark Demon, please rest assured, I will do my best. Fang Yuan expressed his firm attitude. Bo Dan snorted internally. Even though he was displeased, he knew his own abilities. He crossed his arms and watched with a dark gaze. Facing freezing rain frozen earth again, Fang Yuan's expression became serious as he deduced. The battlefield killer move, freezing rain frozen earth, had completely recovered. The damage caused by Fang Yuan and the others had been fixed already. Fang Yuan was not surprised. Earlier, when Shark Demon and the others attacked the blessed land, the battlefield killer move could also repair itself. It was unknown whether this was due to Yulu blessed land's land spirit or the arrangements of Fairy Yulu. Speaking of which, Shark Demon and the others had attacked the blessed land for such a long time, but they had not found the land spirit of Yulu blessed land yet. Whether the land spirit existed, this was still a mystery. With his prior experience, Fang Yuan's progress was fast. He naturally did not destroy the crucial mortal goo. Thus the battlefield did not become stronger compared to the last time. The ice needle storm rained down, as Shark Demon stepped forward and used his immortal goo. The immortal goo's name was Melt Ice. It was an ice path immortal goo and could melt even the firmest ice. This goo was borrowed by Shark Demon specially to deal with freezing rain frozen earth. He paid a huge amount to a certain member of Zombie Alliance. With this melt ice immortal goo, they greatly resisted the freezing rain frozen earth's power. Even the desolate beast-level snow monsters were obstructed. Shark Demon and the others felt less pressure. They even expended far less immortal essence than last time. There was a counter to everything. The strong freezing rain frozen earth was greatly weakened after encountering the melt ice immortal goo. The goo master world was like this. Everything was in balance. Strong and weak was relative. There were no invincible goo worms. There were only invincible goo masters. With melt ice immortal goo, Shark Demon could move freely as well. Fang Yuan also progressed stably. Even though he was a wisdom path newbie, he had precious experience from last time. After returning, he had revised his methods and improved a lot. He designed many new methods. This time, Fang Yuan came prepared that he had to say. Dong Fang Chong Fan's wisdom path inheritance was simply brilliant. Using it, Fang Yuan could forcefully find a solution. The start was the hardest. After Fang Yuan found the first flaw, his progress became faster. He deduced more and more hidden goo worms. But during this process, Fang Yuan could feel his lack of experience. But he was an experienced schemer. He immediately ordered Bo Dan to help. Even though Bo Dan's wisdom path methods were shallow and few, after Fang Yuan started the deduction, he could also see a portion of the details inside the battlefield killer move. He also had very familiar methods and precise techniques. Fang Yuan pretended to deduce, but he was secretly observing Bo Dan's techniques. He learned a lot of things, and his wisdom path attainment was rising. Eventually, with both of their efforts, freezing rain frozen earth was finally unraveled. By now, the freezing rain battlefield has unleashed a total of 33 attacks. Shark Demon's melt ice immortal goo was single-handedly holding them back. The huge immortal essence expenditure reduced his joy of passing the difficult round to a great extent. Chapter 898, Fighting Soul Battlefield. Freezing rain frozen earth disappeared. The world changed. The original icy world turned into a dark environment. It was like evening. There were dark clouds looming, and the poor weather seemed to be indicating a thunderstorm. Evidently, this was another battlefield killer move. Welcome to Fighting Soul Battlefield. A faint female voice resounded in the battlefield. Everyone who was inside the battlefield heard the voice. Shark Demon's expression changed. He said, "Oh no, this is the infamous Fighting Soul Battlefield. This is troublesome." Even before he finished his sentence, a sandstorm started blowing as sand and dust were scattered in the sky. Soul beasts appeared one after another, from all directions, encircling the Gu immortals. Su by man quickly reminded. Xing Xiangzi, Bodan, you have to act quickly. The number of soul beasts here are endless. The longer we take, the stronger they become. This Fighting Soul Battlefield was a battlefield killer move created by Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable after he used one of Spectral Soul Demon Venerable's inheritances as a reference. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's other creations had some mercy in them. They would always leave behind a way to survive. But this battlefield killer move is very different. It contains Spectral Soul Demon Venerable's killing nature. It is the most deadly battlefield killer move among Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's creations. Fang Yuan and Bo Dan did not dare to take their time. They used their respective methods and tried to unravel the killer move. Fang Yuan soon discovered. This Fighting Soul Battlefield was very different from Freezing Rain Frozen Earth. The latter had no flaws at all when activated. It was very well balanced, giving others a feeling of not knowing where to start. But this Fighting Soul Battlefield exposed several hiding spots of mortal goo to Fang Yuan from the start easily as time passed. Fang Yuan found more and more hidden spots. They were growing into a huge number. There were thousands or even tens of thousands of them. The number of goo worms that formed this battlefield killer move was much higher than Fang Yuan's expectations. Fang Yuan soon found out. There were no traps like the ones that were in the Freezing Rain Frozen Earth battlefield killer move. No matter which hidden spot they destroyed, there was no backlash, and Fang Yuan did not need to restart his deductions. Thus, very soon, Fang Yuan and Bo Dan started to dismantle these hidden spots rapidly. However, this Fighting Soul Battlefield's offensive power was several times greater than Freezing Rain Frozen Earth. Freezing Rain Frozen Earth attacked in waves. There was a moment of peace in between each wave of attacks. The Gu Immortals could rest for a while each time, but this Fighting Soul Battlefield did not stop for a moment after activation. The number of soul beasts continued to increase. Soon, desolate beast-level soul beasts were formed. A while later, there were more than 10 desolate soul beasts. Even ancient desolate soul beasts started appearing. They did not even last for 7 minutes before Shark Demon and the others had to use the incomplete profound ice house to escape from the place. There are simply too many goo worms used to create the battlefield killer move. I am ashamed, my methods are too simple. I could only dismantle them one by one. Once they got out of the sea, Bo Dan spoke to Shark Demon without concealing any information. He spoke the truth. Fang Yuan frowned too. My methods could only dismantle at most 5 to 6 hidden spots each time. I suspect that this Fighting Soul Battlefield's difficulty lies here. The faster we can dismantle it, or the longer we can last under the attacks of the soul beasts, the more likely it is that we can unravel this killer move. To unravel it in itself is not the problematic part. In that case, Xing Xiangzi, according to your deduction, how long do both of you need to dismantle this killer move at your current speed? Shark Demon asked. Fang Yuan smiled bitterly and shook his head. I am not sure. I did not manage to see the entire battlefield killer move. There are too many hidden spots. They are numerous like the stars in the sky. And even if I manage to find the tens of thousands of hidden spots, to get rid of them, I will need at least 30 minutes. Sha Nanjiang was lost for words. 30 minutes? We lasted for 7 minutes, and there were already ancient desolate soul beasts appearing. 30 minutes, surely, immemorial desolate soul beasts will appear, and there might be more than one. Everyone became quiet. Su by man spoke heavily. In that case, we can only ask more people to help out next time. These Gu Immortals will need to have enough wisdom path attainment to dismantle the hidden spots. Saying so, Su by man and Shark Demon looked at each other. They could see the bitterness in each other's eyes. There were not many Gu immortals with wisdom path attainment. Asking them to help would incur a huge cost. Shark Demon thought for a while. He spoke. Then we will retreat for now. The next time we are attacking is in 30 days. We will decide on the time at a later date. I will inform you all. Xing Xiangzi, this is my command token. You can use it to stay in Zombie Alliance's headquarters and avoid the trouble you are facing for now. Fang Yuan smiled lightly. Thank you for your goodwill, Lord Shark Demon, but I am not willing to waste any time. Merely Song Yishur cannot do anything to me. Even though Song clan is a huge force, they cannot control the entirety of Eastern Sea. If I hide and shrink away because of this, I, Xing Xiangzi, would have cultivated for nothing. Everyone, until next time we meet. Seeing Fang Yuan and Tai Bai Yunsheng fly far away, Bo Dan stepped forward and stood beside Shark Demon. He slandered. This Xing Xiangzi really does not know what is good for him. He actually refused to accept Lord's goodwill. Shark Demon glanced at him. He snorted, saying unhappily, if you were any more capable, why would I need to treat him like this? Bo Dan had a bitter expression. Oh Lord, it was not that I did not put in effort, but my inheritance is too incomplete. There is a limit to what I can do. Shark Demon waved his hand impatiently. Bo Dan quickly shut up and lowered his head. Leaving the Su Bai Man got close to Shark Demon. She smiled. If husband is afraid that Xing Xiangzi would get into trouble and delay the next invasion, you do not need to worry. Northern Plains Gu immortals often have higher battle strength than the other 4 regions. Xing Xiangzi also has immortal Gu with him. His battle strength was high enough to kill Yao Gu Pai on the spot. Nothing would happen to him. Even though he offended Song Yishur, the precious gem of Song Qi Yuan, it is precisely because Song clan is a righteous path superforce, a large organization with many matters to take care of, that they would not create a huge commotion over such a small matter. But Song clan's reputation was affected. They would definitely want an answer. In a while, Xing Xiangzi would feel increasing pressure. By then, wouldn't he come to ask us for help? That is indeed the case. Your analysis is very accurate. Shark Demon's expression became calmer. He gently held Su Bai Man's hand. Northern Plains, Luo Pa Valley. The battle surrounding Luo Pa Valley had already been ongoing for over half a month. Qin Baisheng's side had the territorial advantage. Feng Jiuji's side was unable to take them down. But Feng Jiugu and the others were very determined. They besieged the area without retreating. Qin Baisheng's side could only hide inside Luo Pa Valley for the time being. Jiangyu, how are your injuries? Qin Baisheng went to visit Fairy Jiangyu. In half a day, I will fully recover. Fairy Jiangyu sat on the bed, shutting her eyes as she healed herself. She replied while multitasking. Joy flashed across Qin Baisheng's face. That is good. After you recover, we will protect you as you charge out of the encirclement and go to Northern Plains Zombie Alliance to activate our hidden arrangement. What? We are going to use our arrangement in Northern Plains Zombie Alliance? Will it not have a huge impact on the entire crucial plan? Fairy Jiangyu was shocked. She asked this. Qin Baisheng said heavily, it won't. I have already communicated with Old Man Yanshi in Shadow Sect's southern border headquarters. Sigh. Feng Jiugu is really quite the character. His self-created heaven and earth song could match my 5-finger fist heart sword. My personal reputation is nothing important, but the immortal Gu that is still being nurtured inside Luo Pa Valley is important to our crucial plan. It cannot be lost. But now that Luo Pa Valley is being encircled by these people from Central Continent, we are at a disadvantage in terms of numbers. We can only rely on the ancient soul beasts to defend ourselves. We will eventually fall if this keeps up. We need to regain the initiative. These last days, he had fought with Feng Jiugu for over dozens of rounds. After exchanging blows countless times, even if they put in all their efforts, they had been unable to determine a winner. Qin Baisheng was concerned about the big picture. He wanted to find a way to get out of this predicament. But at this time, Feng Jiuji's voice came from outside. Qin Baisheng heard it and sneered internally. After remaining silent for 3 days, he's finally returned to taunt us again? Qin Baisheng flew into the air, facing Feng Jiugu. Brother Feng, we have undergone innumerable rounds of battles. We know each other's abilities quite well now. You are an astute person. Can't you see that in this current situation, As long as I defend this Luo Pa Valley, you cannot break in by force. Feng Jiu smiled brightly. An intense light of confidence shined in his eyes. Brother Qin, this time is different. After our countless rounds of battles, I had gained much inspiration. These last 3 days, I have been in closed cultivation. I used the inspiration to complete an incomplete move that I had created in the past. Oh, Qin Baisheng's expression turned serious. Feng Jiu raised his head slightly. He said loudly, "This time, I would like to ask Brother Qin to critique my submission song. Green Jade Song, Heaven and Earth Song, Submission Song." When Feng Jiu sang Green Jade Song, his voice was crisp and sharp, like beads of flawless jade. When he sang Heaven and Earth Song, his voice was grand and magnificent. It made others feel their own insignificance. But now, Feng Jiu sang Submission Song. His mouth was closed. The entire place was silent. Qin Baisheng's expression was both serious and grim, because he heard Feng Jiu's singing voice. His singing voice was directly resounding in Qin Baisheng's mind. That it turns out that this submission song was not heard with one's ears, but in one's mind. Qin Baisheng's heart sank. This sound path killer move encompasses wisdom path, enslavement path, sound path, and soul path. These 4 paths, it affects a person's mind. From the moment he closed his mouth, there is already a trace of 5-finger fist heart sword in it. This Feng Jiu actually obtained this inspiration from me. But it is only at this level. It is not enough to affect my fighting spirit. Oh no. Qin Baisheng's reaction was fast, but Submission Song's effect was even faster. In Luo Pa Valley, there were many ancient soul beasts that were guarding the place. Under the influence of Feng Jiu's song, they submitted to him. They betrayed Qin Baisheng on the spot, becoming the lackeys of the central continent Gu immortals. Submission Song could temporarily cause desolate beasts and ancient desolate beasts to change sides, becoming subordinates of the singer. Damn it. He Lang Zi cursed. They had few people. They needed the ancient soul beasts to bolster their defenses. But now, most of the ancient soul beasts changed sides. They started attacking Luo Pa Valley instead. Shadow Sect side was falling into great danger. But Qin Baisheng was not easy to deal with. He quickly thought of this and displayed a battlefield killer move. Feng Jiu and the others, including the ancient soul beasts, were dragged into this battlefield. There was thick fog in this battlefield. Countless souls were flying around. Dark blue soul beasts gathered and took form. Most of them were ordinary soul beasts, but soon, desolate soul beasts appeared, and seemingly before long, ancient soul beasts would appear as well. The soul beasts that were created in this battlefield fought against the ancient soul beasts that were under Feng Jiu's control. Good countermeasure. Feng Jiu stopped singing. He praised, using this battlefield killer move to increase your control of the soul beasts and eliminate the advantage of submission song. But your soul taker battlefield is too outdated. Even though it was created by spectral soul demon Venerable, he made it when he was young. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable had once used this killer move to create the even more superior fighting soul battlefield. This soul taker battlefield can only convert the souls of living beings into soul beasts, but fighting soul battlefield can actually produce endless soul beasts. Feng Jiu was inside the battlefield killer move, but he was not worried. He spoke casually as he critiqued the killer move. Qin Baisheng, however, spoke with a smile. Future generations enjoy the benefits from the hard work of predecessors. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable could create the superior fighting soul battlefield because he used the foundation created by spectral soul demon Venerable. It is only to be expected. But he was too kind of a person. He weakened spectral soul demon Venerable's killing intent. Even though it seems superior, it lost all hope of going a step further. Saying this, the battlefield changed again. Feng Jiu's expression changed. So this is not Soul Taker battlefield. It is a battlefield killer move that spectral soul demon Venerable created in his later years. 100 million Slaughterfield. Chapter 899. Twin Polar Sea Strait, Song Jiadan. Eastern Sea, Song Clan's headquarters. Heavy water blessed land. Grandpa, you have to avenge me. Song Yisher charged into the study room, stomping her feet and throwing a tantrum to the rank 8 Gu immortal Song Yuan. Song Yuan, and some rank 7 Gu immortal elders were discussing matters of the clan. But Song Yishe barged in directly like this. Song Yuan turned around slowly. He showed no anger on his face as he smiled kindly. "My sweet granddaughter, how do you want Grandpa to avenge you?" Song Yishe did not find it strange that her grandfather knew about this. In fact, if Song Yuan did not know about it, that would be the strange thing. Before this young female Gu immortal came, she had already thought of an answer. She gritted her teeth. "Grandpa, strike directly and capture him alive. I will deal with him after that." At the same time, she thought inwardly, "I will dig out this old lecher's eyes out first. Then I will pull out his tendons and his skin. I will carve out his bones and make his flesh rot. He will be in so much pain. I will make him regret everything that he has done." Song Yuan nodded. He did not hesitation, he agreed. "That is a good method, but," he dragged his words out. Song Yuan changed the course of the conversation as he showed a difficult expression. "Grandpa has something important to do now. I cannot leave. Why don't I get your uncle, Song Xiaqi, to help you?" Song Yishe's eyes shined. She forget her own situation. She thought of something as she asked excitedly, "Grandpa, is it regarding ascending heaven plane?" Song Yuan did not hide it from her. He admitted, "That's right. Ascending heaven plane's exact location has already become an open secret among most Eastern Sea Gu immortals. In ascending heaven plane, there is old eccentric Tian Nan's inheritance. This time, Grandpa will lead the clan's Gu immortals to compete against Kai clan and Rualai clan to try to obtain old eccentric Tian Nan's inheritance. Old eccentric Tian Nan, a refinement path supreme grandmaster from the remote antiquity era, he was on par with old immortal Kong Ju and long-hair ancestor over the course of history. According to historical records, old eccentric Tian Nan had a strange personality. He attempted to refine the immemorial 9 heavens and ended up dying after failing. Even though Song Yishe was spoiled since she was young, she understood the bigger picture. She quickly replied, "Go and deal with that, Grandpa. Make sure you utterly defeat them both. You do not need to worry about my matter. But just Uncle Song Xiaqi isn't enough. I want Uncle Song Jiadan to help me once, to deduce the location of that old lecher." "Haha, my dear granddaughter. All right, take this token and go to Twin Polar Sea Strait and find your Uncle Song Jiadan." Saying so, Song Yuan tossed a token to her. Song Yishe quickly caught it and showed a joyful expression. She turned around and left, not even saying a word of goodbye. Twin Polar Sea Strait was covered in a thick layer of fog all year round that in the air. Song Yishe stopped. Seeing the fog in front of her, she felt a little troubled. She turned to the middle-aged Gu immortal beside her. "Uncle Xiaqi, how do we get in?" Song Xiaqi's body was filled with a vigorous aura. He smiled lightly and said, "Didn't your grandfather give you a token? Little Yishe, you just need to take out the token and your Uncle Jiadan will sense it." Song Yishe held the token high up in the air. A moment later, the fog in front of her started to disperse. A small tunnel appeared. It directly connected to the inside of Twin Polar Sea Strait. Song Yishe and Song Xiaqi entered the tunnel and stepped into Twin Polar Sea Strait. Meeting Song Jiadan was a wisdom path Gu immortal that Song clan had specially nurtured. He stayed on the cliff of Twin Polar Sea Strait normally. His upper body was already old and weak. His lower body had been petrified. His legs seemed to have fused with Twin Polar Sea Strait. "Uncle Jiadan," Song Yishe called out. Since birth, she had only met the Gu immortal Song Jiadan a handful of times, but that did not affect her admiration towards Song Jiadan. Song Jiadan had sacrificed his own freedom for the clan. Ever since he became a wisdom path Gu immortal, he had sat here, using his special wisdom path inheritance to fuse with the world. Because of this, Song Jiadan's deductions and schemes were very brilliant. Every time Song clan had important matters, they would ask him to help and deduce their upcoming fortunes. Right now in the world of Eastern Seas Gu immortals, he was publicly recognized as one of the 3 most capable wisdom path Gu immortals. The saying goes, Jiadan sits in Twin Polar, Huan hides in Nangong. There is also Dragon Head Tortoise, living inside Adversity Sea. Song Jiadan had already opened his eyes. He looked at Song Yishe and Song Xiaqi expressionlessly. He wanted to smile. But his face was hard like a statue, his muscles were stiff and could show no expression. Even if he opened his mouth, he could only speak very slowly and with much difficulty. Little Shi, cousin Xiaqi, it has been a long time. Uncle Jiadan, I am here to ask you to deduce the location of an enemy. This is his appearance and the aura that I collected. Song Yishir passed 2 goo worms to him. Let me look at the command token first. Song Jiadan spoke slowly. Even though he was familiar with Song Yishir and Song Xiaqi, he was to be impartial. To make a deduction, he needed to see Song Qi Yuan's command token first. After checking that the token was authentic, Song Jiadan opened his mouth. A suction force made both of the goo worms from Song Yishir go into his mouth. He shut his eyes and started deducing. A long while later, he opened his eyes. Perplexion shined in his eyes. I could not deduce anything. What? At once, not only Song Xiaqi, who was in anticipation, but even Song Yishir, who was very confident, showed immense shock. Uncle, you are one of the 3 best wisdom path goo immortals in Eastern Sea. How can you fail the deduction? Song Yishir asked. Little Shi, don't be anxious. Song Xiaqi's expression turned heavy. Elder cousin Jiadan, the other party is only a rank 6 lone cultivator that came from northern plains. With your wisdom path attainment, you could not deduce anything? Song Jiadan was still expressionless. He spoke slowly. Is it strange that I could not deduce anything? I am merely rank 7. Even though I have some fame, that is all flattery by nosy people. In the end, I am but a tiny worm in this vast world. All I can do is to predict some premonitions of impending storms. Compared to the world, I am insignificant like an ant. Compared to the grand heroes in this world, I merely control a tiny domain. Song Xiaqi smiled bitterly. Cousin, you are still so humble. Song Jiadan said. I am not humble, but as I continue to fuse with this world unceasingly, every time I advance in wisdom path, I can see the glorious view ahead more clearly. The more I learn about the secrets of this world, the more I am aware of my own insignificance. Thus, I am not being humble. I am just being truthful. I am aware of my own status. Song Yishir was discontent. Even if Uncle Jiadan cannot deduce it, you are still the smartest person. You can surely give a good suggestion. Song Jiadan was silent for a while. He said, there are 2 possible reasons why I could not deduce it. The first is that the other party is not in Eastern Sea. The second, they have wisdom path techniques that can conceal them from my deductions. Or maybe they could find other wisdom path goo immortals to help them evade my deductions. Song Yishir and Song Xiaqi looked at each other. These 2 reasons were very far-fetched. The first reason, if this old lecher Xingxiangzi was not in Eastern Sea, where could he be? Right now, the earth tide was over. How could he return to northern plains? The second reason, how could Xingxiangzi resist Song Jiadan's wisdom path attainment? If he had help, this person would need to be at least at Song Jiadan's level. Was it Nan Gong Clan's Gu Immortal Huan, or Dragon Head Tortoise Immortal in adversity? See who helped him. Uncle Jiadan, deduce it again. Maybe you just happened to fail. Song Yishir requested as she pouted. Song Jiadan directly rejected this. No, the clan has an important mission. We have to obtain old eccentric Tian Nan's inheritance. I need to preserve my strength and prepare my methods to deduce for this in a few days' time. Uncle Jiadan, you did not originally put in all your effort. Song Yishir heard this and said unhappily, all right, you can leave now. Song Jiadan shut his eyes slowly. Song Yishir was ignored. She gritted her teeth and stomped her feet, helplessly turning around and leaving the To fight for ascending heaven planes control, to fight for old eccentric Tian Nan's inheritance. It was a project that the clan had been planning for 100 years. Pursuing Xingxiangzi was just her own personal business. Even though Song Yishir was pampered and spoiled, she could see the big picture and cared for the clan's progress. She was not an ignorant fool. Central continent, who immortal blessed land, an underground cave. Fang Yuan was bathed in the light of wisdom. He shut his eyes as the star thoughts in his mind shined. He quietly deduced some important things. Last time, he used the light of wisdom to deduce the immortal killer moves, Starfire, Escape, and Projected Star Thought. Thus, Fang Yuan currently controlled 6 star path immortal killer moves in total. Star Cloud Grindstone, star snake rope, 6 illusion star bodies, position star swap, star fire escape, and projected star thought. Among them, star fire escape was a movement killer move. It was used extensively in escaping the chase from Song Yishe. As for projected star thought, it was the investigative immortal killer move that Fang Yuan used to expose the immortal zombie Sha Nanzhong's traces. These 2 killer moves were originally incomplete. They were concepts that predecessors of Star Lord Wanxiang had left behind in the Star Path inheritance. They had encountered difficulties during the deductions and could not progress to complete the killer moves. Fang Yuan's Star Path attainment was only ordinary. Normally, under such a situation, these incomplete moves would only be useful as reference to him. But since he had the rank 9 Wisdom Immortal Gu, he could use the light of wisdom and gain unlimited inspiration. He got over the difficulty of a low Star Path attainment level. He forcefully completed the killer moves. It is a pity, in the short time I had, completing Star Fire Escape and projected Star Thought was my limit. After all, I have only 3 Star Path Immortal Gu now. Of course, most importantly, my Star Path attainment level is too low. At this time, a moving perspective cup Gu appeared in Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. The information in the Gu came from Langya Land Spirit. Langya Land Spirit has finally completed the relocation of Langya Blessed Land. He can lend that set of immortal Gu to me now. Fang Yuan was overjoyed. This time, he purposely returned to Central Continent from Eastern Sea. It was to wait for Langya Land Spirit's news and to relocate Star Form Blessed Land that I in Fang Yuan's plans. Star Form Blessed Land was very important. Once the truth that he was the culprit of the incident in Northern Plains becomes exposed, he would have to escape for his life. Why then? Who immortal Blessed Land would face disaster. If he was still an immortal zombie and could not produce immortal essence, then Star Form Blessed Land would be his sole secret base. However, He Lulan knew about Star Form Blessed Land's location. If He Lulan knew, Fairy Lishan also knew. Fang Yuan was a vigilant person. Now that he was Star Form Blessed Land's owner, he naturally had to relocate Star Form Blessed Land to a place that only he knew. Chapter 900. Borrowing Gu from Langya Land Spirit. Fang Yuan did not hesitate. He immediately used fixed immortal travel to go to Langya Blessed Land. Langya Blessed Land had already undergone a huge change. In the vast sea, 3 continents were facing each other. In the air, there was a 4th continent made from cloud soil. Because there was an intense battle that destroyed much of the Blessed Land, Tai Bai Yun Sheng had helped and restored most of it to its original state. Even though Tai Bai Yun Sheng did not participate in the battle, he helped prepare the Blessed Land after the battle. He earned quite a sum as well. Of course, because some immortal Gu that made up Refinement Cauldron were gone, the space in the Blessed Land shrank. Tai Bai Yun Sheng did not have the power to restore the missing space and everything that was in them. The 12 cloud buildings had been rebuilt by Langya Land Spirit, split up across the cloud soil continent. In addition, there were many hairy Mangu masters surrounding the 12 cloud buildings, reconstructing even more buildings. I intend to create 12 cloud cities centered upon the 12 cloud buildings. This cloud soil continent in the sky will become the new living area for elite hairy men. After Langya Land Spirit saw Fang Yuan, he explained this. Fang Yuan nodded in agreement. Because Langya Blessed Land lost a number of immortal Gu, the space inside shrunk by a lot. And because there were many hairy men living in the Blessed Land, they were reaching the limit of the 3 continents. Thus, in this situation, a new area to allow the hairy men to live and propagate was needed. But Langya Land Spirit's next words shocked Fang Yuan. Other than this, I have also established Langya Sect. This sect system will use Central Continent as a reference. I will be the sect's first Supreme Elder, and the hairy Mangu Immortals will be the other Supreme Elders. My previous self was too foolish. He used these precious Gu Immortals for Gu refinement. To fulfill the dominance of hairy men, bloodshed is necessary. Next, I will start training these hairy Mangu Immortals, nurturing their battle talents. Once they have sufficient strength to protect themselves, I will send them out of the Blessed Land and let them complete all kinds of sect missions. Also, under my influence, the 3 continents in the sea will erupt in war. From among them, 3 kings will be chosen, and they will create 3 kingdoms on their respective continents. The kingdoms will fight against each other, and each year, my Langya sect will pick the most elite hairy men from these 3 kingdoms and send the elite hairy men to the continent in the clouds. They will become the foundation of Langya sect. Furthermore, I will choose a rank 5 peak stage hairy man Gu master as the sect leader of Langya sect. The new Langya land spirit was completely different from the previous one. Maybe he was affected by the attack of Qin Bai Shang, but Langya land spirit had decided to undertake a complete reform of Langya blessed land. He used hard-handed methods and had the disposition of a conquering grand emperor. Different emperors employ different styles of rulership because of Langya land spirit's change. The hairy men that were living in the lower tiers were undergoing turmoil and difficulties from war. Their peaceful and serene lifestyles were not to return. Langya land spirit used such a cruel method to choose the most outstanding hairy men. But this method is simply too wasteful. Fang Yuan felt some pity. There were bound to be large numbers of sacrifices during war. He felt quite a loss inwardly. He might as well use these hairy men for Gu refinement. But Fang Yuan would not say these words openly. He could only mutter in his mind. From Langya land spirit's perspective, hairy men were the most outstanding creatures of all. Humans and all other variant humans were underneath them. Fang Yuan raised hairy men and used them as slaves for Gu refinement. If Langya land spirit knew this, he would not accept it. He might even fall out with Fang Yuan. Thus, even though Fang Yuan lacked knowledge and experience of raising hairy men, in the previous discussions regarding the compensation of defending Langya blessed land, Fang Yuan did not attempt to request this even though he knew that Langya land spirit had extremely precious knowledge of how to nurture hairy men. But at this rate, Langya blessed land would undergo a huge reform. The hairy men would start working hard, and their battle strengths will rise drastically. Maybe this happened in my previous life. After such a transformation in Langya blessed land, it managed to endure 7 waves of attacks. But this Langya blessed land has hidden undercurrents deep beneath the surface. Even though 2 hairy man Gu immortal traders were exposed, we can't be sure that there will not be a 3rd or 4th trader among the rest. The methods of Qin Bai Shang that can develop traders to this extent in here are really unimaginable. Fang Yuan thought about this as he told Langya land spirit his intentions. Langya land spirit was slightly shocked. He asked again, "Oh, you want to borrow my set of immortal Gu now and relocate your blessed land? I remember I told you this set of immortal Gu will not be cheap. Even on the basis that you fought against strong enemies for us, I told you that you will still need to pay 2,000 immortal essence stones." Fang Yuan took out 2,000 immortal essence stones, handing them to the land spirit. "Look, I've prepared them already." Langya land spirit was greatly shocked. He received the immortal essence stones as he inspected Fang Yuan, his gaze slightly changing. He knew Fang Yuan's foundation and was very surprised. This lad only ascended recently. He already has so many immortal essence stones. Back then when he made transactions with my previous self, he had to earn immortal essence stones by deducing immortal Gu recipes. It showed how poor he was. It seems that these immortal essence stones were mostly borrowed. That is bad if he owes people a huge sum, or even worse, favors. Langya land spirit shook his head. He did not approve of Fang Yuan's actions. But he understood why. He knew that Fang Yuan's crime was simply too absurd. Once it was exposed, he would be in a doomed situation. He would be chased to the ends of the world. Thus, Fang Yuan had to relocate the blessed land. But this point was also the main reason why Langya land spirit wanted to gradually take in Fang Yuan and turn him into a lackey. It was because Fang Yuan was under such a situation. He was faced with enemies everywhere. When he is left without a choice, he would have to join the hairy men and become a traitor of the humans. But what Langya land spirit did not know was, he was completely wrong. These 2,000 immortal essence stones were actually Fang Yuan's own savings. Fang Yuan was rich now, very rich. He earned 180 immortal essence stones from his first transaction of Guts Gu with Spirit Affinity House. After the Central Continent Refinement Path Convention, Fang Yuan displayed formidable Gu refinement talent. Feng Yang personally invited him to go to Immortal Crane sect and take a look. This was a change in attitude of Immortal Crane sect towards Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan owned Immortal blessed land now. He had room to maneuver between Immortal Crane sect and Spirit Affinity House. As his situation became much easier, and as he considered the dangers of being chased down, Fang Yuan decided to increase the production of guts goo. Once he made this decision, the profits that he earned from guts goo each month reached a total of 300 immortal essence stones. And don't forget, after Fang Yuan took over Star Form Blessed Land, he even obtained Star Lord Wanxiang's 4 sources of revenue. He even went ahead and established the trade of regretful spiders with Western Desert's Xiao clan. With a total of 6 sources of revenue, he earned over 1,000 immortal essence stones each month. There were still the dragonfish and eerie fire dragon pythons that had not entered the market yet. If he included these two, Fang Yuan's initial estimation was that his monthly profit would reach a total of 1,500. 2 months had already passed since Fang Yuan became the owner of Star Form Blessed Land. He naturally had more than 2,000 immortal essence stones in his current possession. Thinking of back then, when he had just become an immortal, he had to calculate every single stone. Looking at prices carefully, he even had to think of how to efficiently use half an immortal essence stone. But now he had over 1,000 immortal essence stones of profit a month. He had truly progressed greatly and taken a huge step forward. He took a really huge step, but Lang Yalan Spirit did not know about it. Even though he was already thinking highly of Fang Yuan, he was still very wrong. Even though Fang Yuan was an immortal zombie with the lowest cultivation level, his immortal essence stone profits approached the level of rank 7 Gu immortals. After paying 2,000 immortal essence stones, Fang Yuan and Lang Yalan Spirit used an information path immortal killer move to form an agreement. Eventually, Fang Yuan gave the land spirit 2 immortal Gu as collateral before he successfully borrowed a set of immortal Gu used to relocate blessed lands. There were 16 of them. Fang Yuan moved without resting. He used fixed immortal travel and returned to Star Form Blessed Land. Star Form Blessed Land had 3 desolate beast spine-fin star dragonfish. Fang Yuan had already seen them before. He did not hesitate. He chose the strongest one that he first moved around the spine-fin star dragonfish, using methods to inspect the dragonfish's size, bone structure, flesh, blood, and other aspects. After confirming that the spine-fin star dragonfish was in a good state, Fang Yuan sat in the air as he shut his eyes while facing the desolate beast. The spine-fin star dragonfish had been tamed since long ago. It obediently floated in the air without moving. Its fish-like eyes that were large as horse carriages shined with some starlight, showing Fang Yuan's reflection from within. Fang Yuan's was calm, but he gradually started getting excited in his mind. Countless star thoughts moved like fireflies filling the endless sky, dancing around in the small area of his mind. These star thoughts split into 2 portions. One portion occupied the right part of his mind, forming a 3-dimensional image of the spine-fin star dragonfish. The other portion was at the left side, forming the image of Star Form Blessed Land. After completing this step, Fang Yuan breathed in deeply as he activated his immortal essence, injecting them into the wisdom path immortal Gu that he had borrowed, and according to the method that the land spirit gave him, he started deducing 0.2 lumps of star thoughts flew rapidly. They collided intensely and created a star cloud storm in his mind. In the storm, countless star thoughts flashed continuously. Some joined together while others disintegrated. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, in Star Form Blessed Land. After a total of 7 days and 6 nights, Fang Yuan, who was extremely exhausted, opened his eyes slowly. 160,000 star thoughts had been used up in his mind. He even spent 66 beads of immortal essence to activate the wisdom path immortal Gu. After paying such a huge price, Fang Yuan obtained 2 sets of Gu formation charts. Among these 2 Gu formation charts, one was big and one was small. The bigger Gu formation chart reflected Star Form Blessed Land. It had 8 formation cores. The smaller Gu formation chart reflected the spine-fin star dragonfish. There were 4 formation cores. Each of the formation cores needed a specific immortal Gu. In total, both Gu formation charts needed 12 immortal Gu.